The show must go on. Let's do some live trading. Let's bring Money Mitch on. Looking good today, Mitch. Let's bring Ryan Faloona on. Looking good today, Ryan. Let's bring Zunaid on from wherever the hell he is in the world. Looking good, Zunaid. Guys, how we doing? It's Friday. We made it. We're all good?
We're all good. It looks like Money Mitch decided to upset me the fact that he's got a sweater and I don't, just because I proved him wrong that cryptos do have technicals. That's okay.
All right. Well, we all can't look this good, man. What can I say?
All right, let's get the show on the road here.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas law, that phrase.
Kiana.
Fisher.
Joy.
Joe. Cards drawn are the past, ones to come are future.
And the best part, it's beatable.
Shout out to who made that video again? Was that you, Mitch?
Right?
Come on, bro. The one and only.
That was Mitch.
You know what that is? That's a teamwork of Ember and I. Honestly, okay. I don't think there is a two-headed dragon like that in Benzinga. You guys let me know. But
props for the video, guys.
I also want to throw out some props here. I noticed that our esteemed news desker, Brent, is in the chat. Brent, good morning. Everyone, if you have ever used Benzinga Pro or News at all, please give us a like right now. Show your appreciation for Brent. It's our guy. You could make the argument that nobody at this company works harder than Brent, even Spencer. So if you show us your appreciation, give us a like. How's it going, Brent? Good morning. Thanks for all you do, my man.
Yeah, Brent is one of the hard. I mean, he's like the heart and soul. He's like the heart and soul of
heart and soul, my man. Heart and soul.
Yeah, this is Benzinga Pro.
Does it all.
If you don't know what this is, pro.benzinga.com. Free 2-week trial for everyone and anyone.
No credit card. No credit card. You get access to Brent's expertise with no money at all. It's awesome.
Well, before we get into today's market, I know you want to ask Zunaid about how his experience went, but I do want to point out stress relief riding here. Already calling you out here, Spencer, saying QS killed it tomorrow. Look at that. Look at that, Spencer.
Way to go, dude.
Had to call that out immediately when I saw that in the chat.
Yeah, boy.
Way to go, Spencer. I love
stress
it, baby.
relief riding. Next time you're in town, you're buying me a drink. Holy moly.
Hit the like, guys. Let's get this show started. All right.
Wow.
I'm interested in finding out. Spencer, find out what happened to Zunaid. I want to find out.
I don't know. Let's ask Zunaid. Zunaid, tell us about your day. I mean, you had a good day yesterday.
I had a great day yesterday. After our trading show, I immediately got ready and headed over to the New York Stock Exchange, where I get to hang out with the most photographed broker in the world, Peter Tuchman, Einstein of Wall Street. Hung out with him for 2 hours, and I mean, it was just spectacular experience. I mean, as soon as I walked on the trading floor, it was just like, holy shit, I'm here. You know what I mean? And it was just great. It was, for the place that's like the financial markets of the U.S., the world, and everything else, it was so like calm, but you could feel the history. You could feel the important stuff and the executions and everything else that was going on in there. So it's just an incredible experience. We got to kind of see the trading floor, saw it from the top view. I didn't know this, but apparently the top of the building, like the ceiling, is all gold. I did not know that.
I don't think I knew that either.
So that was cool. Oh, and fun fact, Peter and his son worked there as well.
I did not know that either.
Yeah. So I got the chance to meet his son as well. Great guy, very charismatic and stuff like that. Taller than Peter. Than Peter.
Not saying much. Peter's a small dude.
I was gonna say, when you're saying tall, give me some context there.
Yeah, we got taller than you.
Taller than me as well. Taller than me as well. I would say if I'm like 5'7", I would say Peter's son was about 6. I'd go 6, maybe 6. Yeah, I'll go 6. But yeah, shout out to Peter Tuchman. The stories that, matter of fact, Spencer, you and I are going to talk later because I think the viewers would love Peter's insights and his stories. So if we had a segment that was like stories with Peter, because he shared some incredible stuff that he kind of dealt with and stuff that happens in the back office, the MOC stuff, which a lot of traders aren't aware of and how to use it properly. But shout out to Peter. Great experience. I mean, I texted Spencer immediately afterwards because I was like, dude, this was freaking badass. I mean, it was great. So Spencer, appreciate you getting us in touch.
The only thing I should have told you about beforehand is while you're there, get like roll the Benzinga Pro ads like sign and like get Benzinga Pro on the screens there. That's the only thing I forgot to tell you. But
next time, I got you.
All right.
Matter of fact, you're coming here in October, so there you go.
Yeah. I'll be there. I'll be in New York for 2 days for our Cannabis Capital Conference, the 14th and the 15th. And shameless plug, guys, bzcannabis.com. You want 2 full days of in-person conferences all about cannabis companies. Check that out there. Mid-October. So, okay, let's get some Benzinga Pros up on the screen here. I want to know what y'all are watching today.
I gotcha. I can go ahead and start. I'm sorry for forgetting to share my screen. There you go, Spence.
Okay.
I'm watching 3 stocks today out of the open here, aside from the movers tool. I'm going to start with the serious one first, and then we'll go to some of the other, I call them traders, who are less serious. This is Inod. This is a data company. Their biggest client is Facebook. This has been a great trade. First of all, this chart is absolutely spectacular. Earlier in the year, full disclosure, I actually traded this from 398 to 750. So it was a pretty good trade earlier this year. It took me a couple of months to hold. It looks like it's setting up for a move into double digits, and I'll be honest with you, once it goes there, I'm not sure it comes back. So one of the things that I'm going to be looking for here is the clearing out of this area between 950 and 1007 if you want to be specific to the all-time high. I think that we do this year, before the end of this year, and I think next year you're going to see this stock in the mid double digits. So I'm going to be looking for an entry here to swing this. I really like this company. This has been a successful trader for me in the past, so I'm setting up an entry here. I'm going to be as tactical as I can about it. As far as some of the other traders, we're going to look at Fuel Cell. Fuel Cell really started to take off the past couple of days. I know it's on the backs of some good earnings. There was a recent option transaction, or unusual option sweep. This stock is no stranger to pops and drops and some large runs in the past. So I'd be looking for this to set up again. I want to see some more expanding volume here on the daily chart. I think if we get that today, you might see some fireworks, especially if we trade above the 100-day moving average, which is at 761. And then finally, this is my YOLO joke of a trade here. This is GREE, right? This is
Whoa, I haven't looked at this one all week.
Time out. This is what SPRT turned into, right? Yeah. And I don't know. I'm sure this has happened before. I can't recall this, but I'm looking at this chart and everything is red. Every price candle is red. Every volume stick is red. I got to think at some point this bounces.
Wait,
maybe. At least I'm hoping so. So I'm going to be watching this for a potential bounce opportunity. I absolutely, under no circumstance, recommend that you buy and hold this overnight. No chance at all. This is just for a trade. So LOL, let's have some fun.
Wait, can I pull up? So that GREE chart, because whenever there's always a conversion, every charting platform will do something a little bit different. You see the Benzinga Pro chart there. Some charts are from TradingView. It doesn't show support.com. Can I show you my Thinkorswim right now? It shows support.com and then it shows GREE as well on the same chart. Check this out. Wait, hold on. There it is.
You have to share your screen.
Check that out. Look at those mirror images of each other.
So like I said, I'm glad that you're laughing, because that's kind of like, this is kind of like my laugh trade, like my LOL trade. So you're helping me sell it, Spence.
Look at this. Look at this.
I know, it's crazy. It's got to go back up, right?
Have you ever in your life seen a chart that looks like this?
No, I haven't. I'm sure it's happened at some point, but I cannot place it. I cannot recall it. To me, this is effing hilarious.
Okay, maybe Nikhil says it's digesting the conversion. All right, Nikhil.
Enron.
Fine. Okay. Full disclosure. I'm gonna have to hop on a few because I need to prepare for our next show, which is another all access event. I'm doing it from 10 to 11 today. So I'll stay on for a few more minutes, but I'm gonna leave before the open. Zunaid, what's on your radar this morning?
So for me, it's two companies. I've got AFRM. They got a nice little upgrade, I believe, earlier. So I'm looking to possibly get long with them over 130, just to kind of want to see price action. I probably won't get in the first 5 minutes. I don't really have a good level just yet. And I'm also looking at CRM. Of course, they had earnings. They did very well. If the market participates, I believe this could be a magnet to 300. So I want to kind of be a part of that, maybe get some calls that are a month or so out. But I also want to be careful because, again, I don't know how the market's going to participate. By the way, Peter gave me these cufflinks. Cute little Wall Street Einstein, if you guys can see it.
Hold on. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those are sweet.
Man, I don't know how to make the focus, but anyway.
No, that's okay.
It's pretty cool.
No, it's cool. That's cool.
I loved it. He was like, do you wear cufflinks? I was like, those are badass. I will now.
I don't, but I will.
Thank you for giving me a reason to buy French cuff shirts. Appreciate it.
There you go. I'm not fancy enough. I can't pull them off.
Right, you can, dude.
Right,
you absolutely can. Zunaid, you and I will talk. You got this. You got this. No problem, dude. You can easily do that.
All right. One stock on my radar that we didn't get to this morning on pre-market prep is McDonald's. There was a headline. I don't know if it was last night or this. I think it was this morning. Yeah, it was this morning. No, it was last night. They raised their dividend and announced that they're resuming their buyback. They raised their dividend from $1.29 a share to $1.38 a share, and their buyback program that had been in place before COVID, they're going to resume that again. I don't know. I don't know about the stock. I just and I know I'm just some schmuck on the internet, but this seems to me like not a great move right now. If you're McDonald's and you have to pay up for labor and you have massive shortages and your restaurants can't even stay open because you have no one to work them, and you decide, oh yeah, let's take our cash and let's use it to buy back our stock and raise our dividend. I mean, this is not a good look for McDonald's. The stock can do what it wants, but this is not. This seems to me like not a good look for a company that has massive labor shortages and is having to incentivize workers with signing bonuses, right? Just to get them to work there, and you're going to raise your dividend now and buy back your stock now? No, sorry, not a fan. Not a fan of that.
What's the why for that, Spence?
What's the why?
Yeah.
Why are they doing it?
No, why do you not like this? Why don't you want them to reward the investors, the people that have been sticking
around?
Dude,
pay your employees. You don't have employees.
Aren't they paying your employees?
They don't have workers. They don't have workers.
And you're this is McDonald's fault that they don't have workers. That's where you're going with that?
Yeah, they can keep raising. Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
I'm just looking for some more context.
Yes.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I asked for some more information.
Yes.
Down,
their fault.
You need some coffee.
Mitch, they're trying to be like us.
I promise you, if McDonald's offered $20 an hour, they would have no problem.
Well, that dollar menu would go to a $5 menu. Chill out.
Thanks, man.
It would go to a $2 menu. Let's get real.
And you'd probably have me quitting because they'd be making as much money as I am here. So
yeah,
let's not do that, Spencer. Let's not give the McDonald's guy $20.
I'm just saying. I think
I get your sentiment. Yeah, look,
I think it's a bad look.
Let's be very clear. We are on a show about stocks, so we may come off a little. No. I don't care about. I'm not saying we're off topic. I'm saying we may come off as like non-empathetic people. That yes, wages are not livable, especially at $10 an hour, things like that. That's not what we're saying. We're saying there needs to be a happy balance. I don't want us to come off like suits that are not sympathetic to folks that make $10 an hour. I just want to clear that out before we get
pay your workers, then raise your dividend. Okay.
I was just asking for the why. I just wanted some more information.
I wasn't yelling at you. I was, but
you did a little bit.
Whatever. Sorry. Okay.
Another Zip Fizz, another coffee.
It's been a long week, Ryan.
I love it. It's four of us here. It's Spencer versus Ryan, and it's Zunaid versus Mitch. I like it. This is cool.
All right. Let's move on. You know what? That'll be my cue to actually hop off because I do have to prepare for our all access event in 40 minutes from now. So I'll let you guys run with it for the rest of the show. And at 10 o'clock, I'll see you guys back here.
See you, pal.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
All right, guys.
So,
I want to talk a little bit about my watch list here. So one that I'm going to be watching for a downside action is actually DKS. Of course, we got the Nike bad earnings there. The reason I'm looking at that is it's kind of similar gap. You see how Nike's has this gap here too? So I'm thinking they're going to start closing their gaps. And if you remember DKS, when it had that earnings, that's where it did that pop. That's where Nike was also doing really well at the time. And now that it's turning around, I think you might see this start testing down towards that gap. That's a pretty big gap. That's from about 128.70s all the way down towards 116.24. I'm looking at options. The only thing is I didn't see no volume. So that's what's turning me a little bit away from it. But if I could short it outright, I'd probably short this stock today. Be looking for it to crack down. If you look here on the hourly, look how it has this kind of triangle that it has right here. This is a third high. You would want it to maybe pop a little bit at the open and then just quickly flush down towards that 131. One that I did get a little bit annoyed about because I didn't take profits was my Roku trade yesterday. I was watching it at the open and we only went towards 339.60s. And of course, I wanted 340s. So today I'm looking at it like, I should have maybe just taken that 339. But that's how it is sometimes. Sometimes you hold to your exacts. Sometimes you want to be a little bit more subjective. And this is why I always say at the end of the day, if it's about 20 or 30 cents, you're only going to make maybe a 0.5% more. Sometimes it's okay to just take the profits and run, give yourself a little pat on the back, 1 day trade, you nailed it, and move forward. All right. So today, upside look, maybe you could take a look at Lucid since we went sideways yesterday. Really just a sideways day. You don't want to see a break, of course, down here towards, let's say, 24s, 70s. You want to come and push right back up there through 26. Palantir is another one to keep on watch. Sideways day. And now we're looking for it to continue back up. I did like it when it pulled back towards 26.89. So let's see if we can get through 29 today and then make our way to $30. Not a lot that I'm looking for the upside because I think there's going to be pullbacks in a lot of the market today. Reason why we've had some big extensions, and then I'm going to be looking for inside days today a lot of the times. So we'll see what happens. What are you guys thinking? Do you think we'll get a little bit more inside action today since we've had these kind of extensions out the last 2 days?
I do, Mitch. I agree with you there. I think we're gapping down a little bit here. I think we probably are going to trade down a little bit lower before we actually find the intraday bottom today. So I'm in agreement with you there. I wanted to really quickly shout out Jay. Looks like Jay wasn't even waiting for the market to open. He just took one of the stocks we talked about and already made 70 cents on it. Jay, that's what I'm talking about right there. Great job. And again, with Gree there, I don't believe in the company, don't think it's a good company, but it probably has to bounce, and you just captured it. So you just traded exactly what I was looking for here. Great job there. Good way to start off the morning.
All right, we got a question here about crypto before we get to the bell here. We got about 8 minutes towards the bell. We started a little earlier, so you guys do us a favor. Hit that like button. I want to see at least 200 likes at the bell because if not, I don't even think we're going to make it to 10 a.m. We got to make it to 10 a.m. You guys do us a favor. Give us that thumbs up. All right, so here, do you think that the China ban on crypto may be bullish for U.S. crypto miners? So maybe looking at crypto stocks today, let's take a look at some of those plays. One that I like recently is this BTCM. But as you can see yesterday, it came on down towards the support, the long-term support. We're going to see if it can hold that and turn back around today. BTBT is another one that's been moving recently. And as you can see, also coming back down towards the support. We'll see if those are able to find support today. But with a negative look towards Bitcoin, I wouldn't necessarily expect a reversal in these. I don't know about you, Ryan. What are you thinking about that? Would you expect reversals?
Yeah, I'm completely on the other side with you. I think that on the other side is you. I think this is much ado about nothing. I think that this is a joke that China's actually saying this. This is actually rehashing old news. How many times has China banned Bitcoin before? Right. This is a nothing burger to me. In fact, I asked, as soon as I read this, I actually asked one of the Bitcoin guys that I go to for more information. I view him as a resource for me, as he's very, very tied into Bitcoin mining and the actual blockchain itself. And I'm going to read you verbatim his response to me. Regarding Bitcoin in China, news like this has the equivalent impact of the Inquirer running a cover story Angelina Jolie crying on the cover about how Brad Pitt secretly loves Jennifer Aniston. I'll be honest with you, I don't think I could have crafted a sentence any better than that. That is exactly right. This is much ado about nothing. Buy the dip. How in the heck is the country going to stop a decentralized exchange? Don't know. China's only hurting China right now.
Well, I guess me and Brad Pitt got something in common there. So,
all right, get him off the shelf, Ryan. You know him. Somebody give us a.
All right, so the spy coming back down towards that trend line. We got finally back above. The question is, are we going to get a sideways action day or another upside push? I think we get a sideways day, kind of an inside day where you maybe even test the lows, test the highs. So be careful for the chop today, especially when we've had such a swing right from Monday. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Hopefully we trend. I mean, I won't be mad if we trend, but that's what I'm expecting here towards the open. Any stock you guys want to bring up before we got the open? We got about 6 minutes left. You guys in the chat, go ahead and start throwing up your watch list. It's great to share it with others because what you could do is put a stock on the radar for someone else, and then they can go ahead and make their investment decision, possibly giving them a good winner. I know that that's what we try to do. We try to give our setups so that you guys can establish that. Go ahead and make your own investment decision. And then who knows, maybe you guys get a profit out of an idea that we bring up here. There you go. We got some stocks running.
Oh, I'm sorry. I gave you
ahead.
the stocks that I was looking for, but I wanted to ask Zunaid really quickly since he brought up AFRM. Looks like we had a pre-market high of 131.76. We traded all the way back down to near 127.50. Looks like we're popping a little bit here. Are you looking for the 300 call, the October 300 call right out of the gate? What are you looking to try and capture, and what's your target here?
Yeah, so not right out of the gate, but I am. So, for example, the pre-market high, I believe, as you mentioned, was about 131, about 132, right? So I am looking for one, for it to break out of that. Two, I'm looking for the big money, as always, to come in. Well, you said AFRM or sorry?
AFRM, right?
Affirm. Yeah. So for AFRM, I'm looking for it to go to about like 150 area. So for me, I'd be buying calls if it pops over 132, and if I see big money having the same idea as me. That's what I'm looking at. I think you mentioned something about a $300 stock. Did I just make that up? Was that just mine?
I think Ryan said 300, but he meant 100.
130. I'm sorry about
that. Okay, you're fine. No. You're totally fine. The reason I got thrown off is because 300 is a target that I'm looking at for another stock for CRM. That's why I was like, wait, what? But CRM, same thing, right? So I'm looking for CRM to go over the pre-market high, which is about 280. And if it does that successfully, and if options come in, I will go ahead and grab something around the $300 area because I do believe it'll be a magnet. Another stock that I'm already in, but I am keeping an eye on is AMD. I'm hoping to kind of get some movement in that one. I am down with those options. I think I have like a 110 for October. And I think I'm down maybe about 25%. I was able to reload at that $100 level, which helped, and I sold that yesterday, but I'm still down on the initial position. So that's my insight for now. I feel like, and today's also Friday. So honestly, I've got a put option that I purchased yesterday as soon as I walked out of the exchange, just because you know how it'd be kind of nice to have your order go through supposedly right there in front of you. So I might sell that right at the open. But in terms of a bounce, 440 is what I'm looking at for SPY. I do believe it will test that 440, and I do believe that could be a nice area for a bounce. Not bounce for the rest of the day, but you might be able to get 50 cents, whatever, if you're trading the SPY.
I agree. I think that would be a good approach there. That 440 was the support before where we broke through. Let's see if it holds this time. All right, so I'm going to run through the stocks in the chat. Want to get through some of those before the open. We got about 2 minutes, so I'm going to try to do it really quickly. How about we do it like this, guys? I'll throw it up the chart. Ryan, Zunaid, you guys say you're bullish or bearish. Of course, guys, do your own assessment, but we're just trying to run through it quickly and knock some out. First one up, OSTK in the chat.
All right, let's see.
This is the hourly and the daily.
Here, I got to pull it up here.
I am bullish on this one. Mitch has sold me on this one. I think we're starting to turn back up here. I think we found our near-term bottom. We want to attack the trend line here that's going to be about at your $90 level.
All right. It's going to be weird, but for just today, I'm going to be a little bit inside day or bearish because I expect a pullback. I'd be actually looking for that pullback to get in. If this was me on a breakout, we always look for that pullback back to resistance and then hopefully see it come support and then see the stock go right back through those highs. Zunaid, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on the inside day part of it as well. If you're going to try to look for a breakout, it would be above $80. But if it goes ahead and fails and it goes and cracks 75, I think we go ahead and test $70 again. So above 80, grab some calls. Below 75, grab some puts.
All right, let's keep it going. Next one up, we have CCL by Super Spacman. Not a bad one to take a look at. I think they had earnings right before the bell or something like that. Need to double check on Pro. I know I heard something like that on pre-market prep this morning. We got multiple highs here at 25. Support holding at 24.50. I'm actually bullish CCL. I don't know the news, so I got to check on that. But I'm bullish this on the long term. What are you guys thinking, Ryan?
I'm bearish on all cruise lines until otherwise noted. So even if the chart's setting up, I'd look for somewhere else. Bearish.
What do you think, Zunaid?
Yeah, I mean, for me, its support is great at 22.50. I mean, it just has been, bouncing off of there for days and days and days. So for me, same thing, kind of like breakout over 25 if you can crack that resistance, but bearish on if you crack 22.50 on the road to $20 as we've got the market open here. I will take a look at Apple since someone is in the chat asking about it. Someone please feel free to interrupt me as needed. Apple's currently, 145 should be a bounce. So if you wanted to grab some quick day trade risky stuff, 145 would be the bounce I'd look for. You crack that, get out.
I gotta say, Caleb, I gotta get better at the lightning round. That wasn't enough of a lightning round for me, but hey, we don't do lightning rounds.
Mitch, that was our first attempt at it. We might have started it a little late.
We'll get better at it. We'll get better at it. That's what it's about.
Yeah,
I like the feedback. Let's keep it going, guys. Let's have some fun. Let's start trading. You guys smash that like. It looks like we're at 192. I said 200 before the bell. Don't do it to me, guys. Don't do it. All right, let's go ahead. Let's see this open. I'm going to start calling out sectors and industries at first versus stocks. So we can just look at the direction that certain sectors are moving. Then we can work backwards from a macro to a micro approach. Let's go ahead and take a look here. What am I seeing moving right out the gates? I see utilities moving a slight bit up, everything else in the red from the open. We'll see if consumer defensives can get back into the green, but that would also give me a sign that the SPY may be pushing down a little bit here. Let's take a look at the SPY on the 1 minute just to kind of see where we're at. And it looks like we're pushing up right now to 441.83s. We'll see if we can get towards 442 here and hold that push on up. Let's go ahead and see if any of these can get into the green.
NASDAQ's rounding and coming off the bottom here too, as far as the market goes. So definitely want to keep an eye on that. I am looking at Affirmed here. Looked like it was kind of having a fake out. It does look like it wants to go. No fill yet though. No fill yet though. Thinking, maybe Zunaid, what do you think here? The today's 130s here as a lotto?
NAKD. Let me take a look at that. I was looking at
I'm sorry, Affirmed. The calls.
Oh, okay. Let me take a look. I was actually in the CRM trade here. Give me 1 second. If it goes over that 130 saw, it smacked right down below it. So if it's able to kind of get back above, then yeah, you could absolutely do that as it's going to do here momentarily.
There we go.
Which are you grabbing any YOLOs on it just now?
No, I was thinking about 130, but to be quite honest with you, I panicked there. I had a little bit of an indecision. I ended up not buying it.
This one's a hard one for me, guys. Personally, these are the kind of trades that I try to stay a little bit away from. When a stock is over 100, I don't want to be worrying about it dropping so fast. So this one's moving a little bit too fast for me for a stock that's priced that high. So I'd have to tie up so much capital. But that doesn't mean that you guys can't trade. Just always know your personality and what stocks you like. Yeah. DKS today, look at that. Nice drop right out the gates. I would have shorted on that VWAP bounce. That's what I call a VWAP fade short. So 131.50s with a risk up towards 132 is what I would have taken there. As soon as you saw that drop towards, and I called it in pre-market. Remember I said, look for a hard drop towards 131 right out the gates. And then I short that pop. Whatever that pop gets to near that VWAP, I definitely want to get it near that VWAP, if not slightly above that VWAP. Look for a breakdown to continue moving down here towards 128. When I was looking at puts this morning, I was looking at the 128s, but there was literally open interest of 4. So I was like, yeah, let me not go after this. I already suck at options. So if it's not trading high, I stay away. So it's the thing I think with options that gets me a lot of the times is figuring out where you want to put your strike price. And then also figuring out how close on expiration you want to go after it. I think, one of the things with options that a lot of traders don't understand is that you do need a higher account size to get a lot of these contracts. A lot of the contracts, maybe not in DKS, but if you're looking at bigger stocks, like maybe even that Affirm, I'm sure they're not cheap.
Well, today's are in the 300s. Next week's are in the 700s. So that just gives you an idea per contract. Example. By the way, per contract.
Yeah, per contract. So you can imagine, the risk is really high. Let's say if you had a $2,000 account and you wanted to grab one of these options, the risk would be massive. So I think you always got to know what kind of account you have and look for the strength also in that. All right, catching up with the chat. What do you see out there, Zunaid?
Yeah, I was just going to ask the chat if anyone went ahead and took that CRM trade, right? We talked about it pop over 280. Now it's at 281.59. Want to see if anyone in the chat went ahead and grabbed that one or not. Might possibly, I want to see a little bit more. Let me take a look at AFRM here. See if you see any options coming in? I forgot to open up my platform.
Yeah, today's options on Affirm, the 130 and the 135s are hot. They are both popping right now.
For today's?
For Affirm, yeah. When I first took a look at the 130s, we had a 260 ask. Current ask right now is 320. So as far as I'm concerned, I missed the boat on that one. To your point, though, if we pop above the high, maybe you want to look for the next strike higher and play the Yolo that way.
Yeah. All right. So
excuse me, I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good, man. You guys are calling this one out to the key here. Looking for the 15-minute to hold that support, 127s on any downside, and then just break out through 132s. We'll see if we get that move in Affirm. All right, I want to catch up with the chat. I'm seeing some people mention Palantir. The Space Ape is looking at the Palantir. Can't blame you on that one. Looks like it's just pulling back right now. We'll see if it holds 28 and then reverses there. Next one up. Looks like we got over the 200 mark, so I'll be able to stay till 10 o'clock here. Let's keep going. GM popped up 70 cents. GM, let me take a look at that. Oh, not a bad play right there. Good call out there, man. Whoever calling out GM, that's what I like to see. Proton, appreciate you. That's not a bad call out there. There's not many times you'll see GM just open up like that. So that's a good look right there. Let's look at Ford for that case. Look,
they were both moving yesterday.
There you go. So not bad ones to take a look at. Appreciate you bringing those up in the chat.
James, looks like James hit Gree on the bounce here. This is exactly what I was talking about, man. Garbage stock, but probably going to bounce. I missed what your entry was, but we're definitely trading up here. So you owe me lunch. No problem, man. I'm a cheap date. Congratulations on the successful trade. Make sure you keep that profit. Don't give it back.
Nice move there.
Appreciate the AFRM, mention there on the options coming in. The 135s now are bottom at 165 now that are at 230.
Yeah. There you go.
So those are doing well. And I mean, hey, if you haven't gotten into if you have not gotten into CRM because you were waiting to be told to get in and out and you didn't exactly follow the plan that we had, if it comes back to 280, you might consider getting in with a stop loss right below it, and then you can have another stop loss if you were trying to play wider, which would be the green to red line. But that's what I literally have positions on in CRM. And AFRM as well. I might get greedy with AFRM though. I might hold on to this YOLO till we break 132 and possibly go to 135s.
All right, so I'd want to see 130.50s hold here as a new support and then push right back up there through that 132. That's what we talked about slightly 2 seconds ago on the 15-minute. We were down towards 128 and then just ripped on up through that 132. It's a good stock to watch. Definitely the momentum is there on AFRM. Looks like we're missing the greatest stock in the world. Let us know, GM. What's the greatest stock in the world?
Someone's mentioning bros in the chat, and I don't think they're talking about us.
Bros? Yeah, I had a feeling this one would come down a little bit. I mean, you're just on this sideways action right now. It could pick up and then just start ripping too. You're in a flag on the daily, and kind of a more of a symmetrical triangle if you just call this kind of pattern right
I'm
here.
not too mad that I didn't pay attention to this one because I wouldn't have gotten in until about $50.25 anyway, and it looks like it bounced at $50.57. I'm not too annoyed with it. But man,
I'm a little mad at
$50
myself.
would be nice.
I should have bought this one day one, but I very rarely buy IPOs.
Yeah, you know what they say, bros before. But anyway, if you go ahead and take a look at AFRM, that one's now popping over.
Yep. Great trade, Nate. Thank you.
I'm trying to figure out thank you for calling it out. And that's why it's important, right, chat? Before the bell opened, we said, look, these are the levels. And if this breaks and options come in, we're going to go ahead and snag them. So it's important to kind of not just wait for us to say, hey, we're getting in, hey, we're getting out. Write down the levels that we're, talking about and see what's what.
All right, CRM, beautiful day there.
Yeah, CRM is looking nice. I'm going to hold on.
Good hold there on AFRM there. I like that support hold, that little pullback. Yeah. And one of the things that happens here is that this is why I'm not in this one. Let's say if I was in this one with shares, right, like common shares, there's some people that are, and I don't know who they are right now, but there's some people that are probably grabbing like 1,000 shares of this name. So when you grab that 1,000 shares, you really got to be careful on a name like this, because if you grabbed it at, let's say, above 132 right there, then it pulled back below 131. Trust me, you're feeling the pain really quickly. So you got to just understand where your risk and return is on a stock like this. And even though the stock is moving really fast, you always got to understand the downside risk.
And I mean, you're feeling the pain, absolutely. But I hope that the folks that are getting in with 1,000 shares or whatever, that's also their normal share size, and that's what their risk tolerance is. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So I hope that's something that folks at home, if you're trading that type of size, you're comfortable with it as well, because not every move is going to instantly be profitable.
CEI through
great.
2.
Yep, CEI is through 2 here.
Through 2. I'm sorry. CEI just took down a huge wallet too.
And now that 2, if it breaks and if it doesn't just smack down, that 2 is going to become a decent support there for that stock as well. So let's see how it performs. Let's see how it behaves.
And full disclosure on this was a Twitter mention. There were a lot of FinTwit in on this, so keep in mind that there might already be some holders in there. I mean, if you look at the volume the past couple of weeks, it's just insane.
I understand. Yeah, I mean, the Atlas crew and a couple of other folks have been looking at this since about 50 cents. So congratulations to them. But let's see. Yeah, I'm going to hold on to this AFRM just to get if you're in this trade with me, 134 is probably when I'll consider taking this one out. So 134 is when I will exit that trade, because I do want it to hit 135s, but I'm not going to sit here and just wait exactly for that. But that is what I'm taking a look at.
Looks like we got some airlines moving here. Save, AAL. I talked about these yesterday, how they started looking really well. Even though I don't believe in the story, the technicals are definitely pointing to the upside right now. You're seeing Save push on up there, AAL. Let's see how CCL did towards the open. Yeah, also looking bullish too. So looking like the reopening trade is doing well. I did hear mentions of kind of Delta data coming down, and that could be a reason why you're seeing these moves. Of course, that's completely just trying to find a catalyst for a reason, or like I like to say, they're just trying to make reason for the moves. But not a bad trade there. CCL getting back above 25. Remember, we talked about that in pre-market, how that's the level for the breakout. Now you got this push towards 25.25. Let's see if we hold any pullbacks to 25. Where's VWAP? Oh, right there on 25. Why would that happen, Zunaid?
I mean, hey, support resistance, it's always going to be consistent. 25, psychological level of that whole number. And remember, if someone has a trade, something that I wasn't prepared for, I was prepared, but I didn't expect coming, is I went to a restaurant maybe 2 days ago here in New York. And as soon as I walked in, they asked how many people, like normal. Then they said, cool, can we see your vaccine card? I was like, what? And because I didn't realize, I remember hearing in the news when they asked, but I was like, oh yeah, they ask you for your vaccine card so that you can eat and dine in and whatever. And I was like, holy shit. So thankfully I had mine, but that was an experience I didn't expect. So when you said Delta variant and all that, that's what that reminded me of.
I'll tell you one thing. I didn't have my card with me when I went to Detroit.
Well, I took a picture. So I have an album that's like,
Yeah, I have a
COVID
picture
vaccine.
of it.
So then I was like, here you go, like whatever.
But that's interesting. I
because I have
think
to have
I've
it from my
heard
other
that.
work too. So
I've heard that being mentioned in New York multiple times now.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen that anywhere else. So if you guys have seen that anywhere else, any other major city, let us know in the chat. It's always good to know, right?
AFRF had a nice little bounce off of VWAP. I am still holding this one. I am not getting out of it. Like I said, it is a YOLO for me, so I want at least 100%. And good God, anyone in the chat, if you played CRM over the break of 280, like we mentioned, please put your pinky up. Please let us know in the chat.
In the air.
Yep, for sure,
baby.
And now the fact that it's hit 285 already, it wouldn't be surprised for it to kind of consolidate, maybe even pull back to the VWAP before it bounces again. AFRM, if you wanted, it's at that VWAP area right now. Stop loss would be below 130.
Ooh. There's a lot of stocks that are having that inside day for me, and it's tough when you see your market days like this. Not to cover and take small gains and try to stick to your plan that you established at the beginning.
Let's see something here.
All right, let me try to find some ones that are moving out there. I did see ChargePoint mentioned here, but look at the SPY right at the open. We never even got that turnaround. So be careful at 10 o'clock to see that turnaround happen, right? We've talked about that often, how there's a 10 o'clock turnaround often. Now, the big level for me, I would want to break out towards 445 from here and just give us that really, really bullish look for the day, because we had multiple resistance there at 445. Even yesterday, we went up towards 444.89. So that's the level that I would want to see it get above to show me that, okay, just the SPY is just like, yep, we're going to all-time highs. Let's go take it out. All right, from the SPY, I just want to call out some moves there. CNP, LMT, Lockheed Martin having a good day. CRM having a good day. EVRG having a good day. Costco having a good day. And NUE having a decent day too. That one looks like
Uber
a gap fill.
Raging out of the open here, Uber.
Oops. The oobs. Yeah, that's a good volume. That's what you want to see.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
Yeah, nice volume pop gap fill. So it gaps up, right? And then it tries to fill the gap. It goes below that level, but look how quickly you reclaim this one. This one went to a low of 42.01, ended the day at 45.84. So way higher than that. So that shows you that, hey, bulls may have bought there, but they probably also bought here. So boom, starting to take off. Uber, not a bad one. I think Dash had taken off before this. So yeah, look how Dash. Look at this chart. You see how this had taken off before this? So I think that's what you're seeing there. People watching for sympathy, looking for Uber to make a move. Not a bad one. Let's take a look here at the Qs, how the Qs trading. The Qs are trading about sideways on the day. Let's look at the hourly chart, pretty much sideways also. What is trading up in the Qs? Let's see. We got Costco, Match Group. You got MAR, Marriott trading up today, Booking trading up today. With that being said, let's take a look at TRVG. I like that one as a cheap name for a little breakout if those are trading higher. Look at this one. This one might interest me. I might swing trade this one, guys. I like the setup.
TRVG.
Yeah, I'm starting to look at it now. If you guys got a stock you guys want to call out, go ahead. I'm going to start selling.
I'm still looking around. Yeah.
Here. I like this one because when I see like higher names, like let's say Booking, Expedia, all of them moving up, what do I look for? I look for the cheap name because, I mean, they have already made their move. So I'm looking for a lagged play for it to start taking off. And sometimes it's not even for this name for it to move up. It's just because the industry is getting a lift. So I'm going to look for this one, maybe potentially to get to its 3. Nice inside day, nice pullback. Now starting to get strong. It looks interesting to me for a cheaper
CEI,
play.
by the way. I know you had mentioned this one, Ryan. Yep. Went ahead and dipped below 2, but then it came right on back. And now it's at 208. So nice 10% move almost for the day.
And that move at round 2, Zunaid, that's what we were highlighting, right? I said there was a huge seller there at 2, so we pushed through it. We actually back tested it. There was a ton of volume in here, so we actually pushed beneath it. Looks like on the chart there we went down to 195, and then we pushed right back up. That volume is always going to tell you the big seller, the big sell walls, the big bids, the big asks, and then the big volume.
Yeah.
That's going to tell the story.
Stayed above VWAP as well, right? So if you were getting in this one, VWAP could have been your stop loss, which it often is for me. This one I personally did not trade, but that could have been that risk off. For me, I'm still in the AFRM Lotto and the CRM trade. I'm out of it now at 285. So that was a nice $4 move for me.
All right, guys, you guys go ahead and smash that like. We got about 10 minutes left here, and then we'll be wrapping up. We'll be getting towards an interview, but I wanted to call out something that I've had a question on before on my Twitter. I've had this question, and Ryan and Zunaid, you guys can definitely give your opinion about this, but I get this question, and they're like, well, how come my flags don't hold up? Or how come the pattern doesn't hold after the trade? And so one of the things that I replied to that was, well, do you see that same pattern on multi-time frames?
Right.
Because I think that's very important for traders to understand. Sometimes you can see something in a 1 minute time frame that doesn't exist on the 5, the 15, the hour, or the daily. And then what that shows you is that it's just a 1 minute pattern. And there's only 1 minute traders trading within that. And so it doesn't mean that it's not going to work out. But what you want is that multi-time frame look. So you have multiple traders looking at the same level. What happens is when that breakout happens, it's multiple time frame traders that are looking at that. So you got the 15-minute traders in at the same level. You got the 5-minute traders in at the same level, and the 1 minute traders in at the same level. So let's take a look here on CEI, and it's a perfect example of this. So this is the hourly chart, right? The hourly chart shows what? A flag down towards support at 179. Breakout through 195, right? Or $2 if you wanted to call it up there. But just go shorter in time frame. Look at the 15. Same thing. Look at the 5. Same thing. Look at the 1. Right. Same thing. That's what you want to see in a setup in pre-market to tell you that there's multiple time frames, multiple supports at the same level, resistance at the same level. And so when the pattern holds like that, and you get volume breakout like Ryan's talking about, these are what you call strong patterns that have high probability to work out in your favor.
Yeah, and Mitch, I get that too. The one thing that I will say about that is that the one thing you have to understand about chart patterns is that these are not rules. Mm-hmm. These are signposts. These are guides to help you make educated decisions on where the price is going to go. And like Mitch just said, play probabilities. Use risk management to play probabilities. You could have the best looking head and shoulders, and the very next day it can be invalidated. Mm-hmm. Chart formations don't mean that the stock is going to do what your chart formation says. However, these patterns that repeat themselves do so for a reason. And when you're trying to position yourself and manage risk, you're going to use those probabilities to try and put yourself in the smartest possible trade. So, Mitch, I like to give that answer a lot. I feel bad because it kind of feels like a cop-out. It's not what they're looking for. But at the end of the day, it's the truth. And if you learn how to analyze and see these different patterns and you learn how to play them, your example on time frame continuity right there, that's brilliant. That's exactly the type of thing that traders should learn when making their decisions to buy and sell.
Yeah, you can't always think that everyone's just trading and seeing your pattern. So you got to also think about how the psychology is in the stock overall, short term, midterm, and long term. Those all affect the stock. So one of the biggest things to always understand is your time horizon and how you trade there. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at ChargePoint. Tom, you've been talking about it for a while. I apologize that I haven't taken a look at this one. This is what I can tell you is I myself got stopped out at ChargePoint. Because why? Because I got in on the weekly support and it started testing that weekly support. And I'm not holding on a chart that I expect to find an immediate bottom. But I can't blame you for taking a look at this. Look at this weekly. This weekly looks beautiful right there. Support, beautiful, but it keeps testing down there and breaking below it, that line. And so it's a little tough to trade. I got in it and I got stopped out in like 2 days. So that just shows you that this is where I got in, guys, right here on this breakdown. And then like I got in like slightly over here, and then when this happened, I got out. I was like, yeah, I'm not holding on, because that's how you end up with a bag. When you get in on supports, a lot of the
The
times
bad kind.
yeah, like it's either what I call immediate gratification trades, where you're looking for that immediate move in your direction and for the trend on the daily to really start showing you upside look. This on the daily, that doesn't really show me too much upside look, right? What would you guys say?
No.
No, not really, right? And
my eye does not see upside there when I look at that.
immediately my eyes says worry there. So that shows me that I want to be concerned, but doesn't mean that you can't take the trade. Just know your levels and know your out plan.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I know we got to wrap up here in a few, but AFRM dipped below 130 again. For me, I have Yolo, so I don't really care. But if you want to get into this as a trade, you can either get in now with your risk being low of day, or you can wait for a pop above VWAP and have your stop loss be below. So that's what you can do with AFRM. 130 call is not a bad idea here if you want to get in.
All right, let's see the pattern on multi-time frames here. Look at the 1 minute, right? And what does it show you? It shows you kind of a tighter time frame trade between, let's say, 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. Then you broke out of that. Then you got a big wash down. When you get these big wash downs, what I usually do is I start looking at bigger time frames. 5 minute, you start seeing a little bit cleaner. Look how the 50 EMA is holding really well. So the 50 is holding really well. That's every time it comes back towards that level, it's been turning around. So I know that some traders are definitely watching that 50 EMA, especially on a 5 minute, and they're looking for this 15 minute to really push on up. One of the things that I always look at is go back to the hourly. The hourly is going to help you really determine, is this stock still in an uptrend? It is. It still is hourly trying to break through those highs. So that's a lot of the times where I ask myself, okay, as long as we can hold an hourly trend, I can still look at this stock and try to find the pattern to nail where I should be getting in and where I should be getting out.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, we're going to start wrapping up. We got about 5 minutes here. You guys can definitely get your trades in that you guys got to finish up with. I just want to go ahead and mention here. So when I was a first-time trader, and I mentioned this on SPAX Attack yesterday, so I thought it was a really good lesson to bring here. I was a little naive. You know, I always thought that, you know, I knew the trades that were a little bit better than others. But one of the things that I understood after a long time of trading, and I've been doing this now for more than 5 years, is that there's never a correct trade. It's just a planned attack. And if you have a planned attack and you have your risk points, you have your reward points, I don't care. You could be going for AMC, GME, you could be going for a penny stock. The key is always having that planned attack. And I can't look at another trader and say that they're wrong in taking a trade as long as they have that planned attack. That's what I always look at now. And I try myself to not get into that bullish, bearish trade before you're even in a trade, and having that mentality towards different trade ideas, whether that be trading a stock like this ripping like AMC or a stock like Apple or Tesla. You can't tell people what to trade. The key is having the planned attack.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice, Mitch. And at the end of the day, everyone trades a little bit different, right? So I might be comfortable trading some $2 stock off the bottom, whereas you're probably looking for a stock in the teens, the 20s, because it's part of your plan. It's part of what you're accustomed to doing. I think that's really good advice. James in the chat saying something I think is really smart. Always be a student. I like to think of myself as a lifelong learner. That's a really, really good piece of advice in any career that you are in. Always be open to learning new things. Always. It's going to make you a better person.
All right. It looks like James calling me a perma bull. I like that actually, because for a long time I was called a perma bear. So I'll take it. The other side now.
that tells me, Mitch, that you're doing both sides. That's what that
exactly. That's what that is. So that gives me actually a little pat on the back actually. So appreciate that, James. Zunaid, what do you got, man? The Yolo King.
Yes,
How was it today? How was this week? And what did you look forward to maybe next week?
This week was much better than my previous hotel weeks have been. CRM was a great trade. AFRM still in it with the Yolos of 135. It's a trade that I have on 130s. were profitable, some out there. I just went ahead and grabbed a couple of minutes ago CEI. We talked about that $2 being support, so I went and grabbed some shares at $2.01. My stop loss is $1.98. I'll sell this at about $2.06. So I'm about a penny off here. But that's what I'm looking at. Looking forward to next week. Slowly getting back into earnings, but I'm hoping for a nice October to this crazy September.
Yeah, and going forward here, I'm going to keep watching INOD. We're having a good day here. We traded back down to about 860 out of the open, held, and now we're turning back towards 9. Again, just kind of looking at the daily here, really think that we're going to need to snap 950 to really get some movement here. I really like this company. It's going to be more of a long-term thing, not necessarily a day trader.
All right, guys. So like I told you guys earlier, I did get caught in some of the trades that, yesterday I felt I should have been taking profit probably, but that's how it is, right? There's no perfect recipe. Always work on it to understand what is best for you. The way that I look at that is I look back at my data always, and I say, what profits am I really taking? And what hits am I really taking on the downside? When you start doing that, you'll start seeing that you have a sweet spot on that return and maybe a sweet spot on that risk. So for me, that's been 5% on the risk side, 20% on the upside. But that's just because that's what my data tells me. Like always, guys, do your analysis on your data, because what this tells you is not necessarily how your results went, but how you yourself and your personality got you to those results. Because everyone can have a strategy, not everyone can execute, and you need to review your execution more than just your strategy.
And you'll always need to work on your execution. I have a set plan every day, and I don't follow my plan every day. I don't execute my plan every day. This is a constant evolving process, and I think that goes back to why I really like what James said about always wanting to be a student, always want to be able to always try to learn, try to better yourself, because you're always going to be working on your process.
All right, guys, up next, we're going to be having two big companies here, guys, NX, Next Text, and also Tilt Holdings coming up with Spencer Israel. So you guys stay here. Go ahead and check out those interviews, and we'll see you next time on Live Trading. Like always, hit us up in the comments. What do you want to see more of? Do you want to see strategy? Do you want to see more options trades? Do you guys want to see some more asset live day tradings? You guys let us know. We'll work for you guys out there. And like always, hit the subscribe, the like, and we'll see you next time on Live Trading. Benzinga in, Benzinga out.